There are several different approaches that can be taken when drawing the figure, or anything for that matter, from life. There are different kinds of challenges drawing from life than drawing from a photograph or a printed piece. One of the ways I like to work is to search out the angles. So I would be searching out the head, angles, and I'm working in vine charcoal, which is a very soft substance. I like it because I can wipe it off with a tissue and kind of get a ghosted image, and it also erases almost completely, and that comes in handy too. So I'll work just on half the figure here, since I don't have a very large space view in the camera. If I was working on my own, I would use the whole tablet, but I'll work from the head down to about there. And I would first establish the angle of the head, which is, features are going off this way, get the neck, and then I'd get the attitude, or the angle of the shoulders there. And for the arms and legs, I would simply, I'm using a plumb line here, see how straight that arm is. It's tilted just a little bit. So I'm just going to get the angles of the major parts of the arm. I'm not worried about all of my proportions at this point because I'm working with the vine charcoal and I can make adjustments as I need to. This arm looks like it's going off in this direction, turns slightly. The torso is tipped just a little bit, so I want to indicate that. We have the rib cage there, and then the lower torso is straight, so I'm going to indicate that. So I would be likely to begin that way. Then I would remove some of this, and then go back in and more carefully work, checking my proportions as I go along, working a little bit darker, but still a fairly light touch so that I can make adjustments as I go along. Another way to work is to view the image through a grid. Now there are grids that can be purchased. This one can be purchased off the internet. It's by Picture Perfect. It has these nice filters, acetates, and then the grids marked right on there, the different graded shades and some measurements on the back. But we can make a very simple one with clear acetate and a Sharpie pen. And the way I would use this would be to, first of all, figure out how much of the figure I want to do. Now, the class we're going to do tomorrow is an hour and a half, and that's not very much time to work on the figure. So I would be inclined to do the face and close in the features if I could see. If I'm in a seat and in a large classroom, this often happens, where I'm not close enough to the model that I can actually see the features clearly, I might work on half the figure, say from the top of the head here to somewhere around the waist level. And this grid is square, so I would find the edges of what I wanted to draw in this little viewfinder, and I would hold it upright so that I can see the angles. And then I can see, for instance, this is a very quick reference to see that the head is off to the right of my page a little bit. So if I do a square, and I can do that easily by saying, this is how high I'm going to work, so I can create the width by doing a comparative measure that way with my pencil. So this is my drawing area. I might go outside of it, but this at least gives me a start. And then I would put in the mid marks that correspond to this grid. If I wanted the whole figure, I would pull this toward me and see where the features end up. If I want less of the figure, I push it back. So here is the corresponding half marks or mid marks. And as I'm observing this, as I said, I see that the head is to the right of that mid mark. So I would want to, one way to go would be to anchor that, because I know that's there, and then sort of see where the shoulder falls in this view. And it's just below this area. So I'm just going to make a mark here to indicate that that's where that left shoulder of the figure would be. And then I'm seeing that the base of the torso is, I'm holding this in front of the camera, so it's a little more difficult. A little bit to the right here. And it is tipped, so I might just put that angle in. And the figure's right arm is somewhere up in here. The shoulder is somewhere up in here. So this gives me some anchor points to go for. I can then start to draw the spaces or the image in between. And it looks like the armpit is right about there, so that would be coming down. And that gives me a guide. If I'm drawing the shoulder, for instance, and I end up with the top of the arm way down here, I know that's incorrect because I've sort of assessed through this grid that the figure's left shoulder is going to be, see if I can get my view back again, right about at that top mark. And again, working lightly, I can make adjustments as I need to.